Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us, especially at last minute notice. As you know, though, it's a unique time because the Michigan legislature is still in session as they're coming to the end of the 2023 portion of this legislature. There's a lot of big policies on the table tonight, and one of them has been something that people like Tad DeLuca have been fighting for several years, and that is the package of sexual assault survivor legislation that would clear the path for so many survivors like Tad, who later in life find a way to step forward, speak about their abuse, and pursue justice in court. Those bills are led by Representative Julie Brixey, and she's a Democrat. But one thing Tad wants to implore to the legislature tonight, that partisanship is not the issue. These are not partisan issues. These are the kind of issues that government should be there to enact to support survivors so they can get justice, so they can take action in court and find some different level of peace in their life as they go forward. So with that, right now, I'm going to introduce Tad DeLuca. He's a former college wrestler at the University of Michigan. He's a survivor. He's testified before the Michigan legislature before when these similar bills were sponsored in a bipartisan fashion, and he's hoping the legislature can move these bills tonight. So with that, Tad, please go ahead.
As John said, my name is Tad DeLuca. I wrestled at Michigan from 1972 to 1975. Like any athlete who's injured, I went to see the team doctor, Dr. Robert Anderson, and before he looked at whatever I had, a dislocated elbow, a sore knee or something, he always would do a hernia check on me, and that would move to, he would fondle my testicles and penis. Then he would move on to basically what's called a prostate exam. And that had nothing to do whatsoever with my injury, but that's something he did to me, and he did to thousands of other athletes who were there. In 1975, I wrote a letter to my coach and reported it to the University of Michigan, and nothing was done about it. And I got kicked off the wrestling team, and Michigan took away my full scholarship, my out-of-state tuition scholarship. It was devastating. I'm here tonight for the survivors of sexual assault because they need help from you. They need help from the Michigan House of Representatives. This bill apparently is stalled, and you can make a real difference by passing these two bills. The bills 4482 through 4487. Helping survivors of sexual assault is not a partisan issue. It's not red, it's not blue. We shouldn't even be talking about political parties. I taught school in Lewiston, Michigan for 25 years. I lived there, and then I moved to Gaylord a couple of years ago. And as a teacher, the number of times I had to report a kid who was sexually abused or assaulted, or who I suspected was, happened too many times, and it was difficult for me to do. And I know it was difficult for the kids. The trouble is, now in Michigan, you can time out of realizing what happened to you or having things done to make things better for you. I didn't fully realize what had happened to me. I was probably 64 years old. I testified before the Michigan House, I believe it was 2021, about these same things. I told my story in pretty good detail. And I believe at the time it was a Republican bill that I was testifying for. Now, in last June, I think I testified for a Republican bill. It doesn't matter what party. This is a bill by adults and people who are trusted to help people in Michigan. And it's a bill to make sure sexual survivors can heal. I don't even like using the word sexual assault survivors. You're a victim until you get some sort of resolution, until you get some sort of vindication of what happened to you, some sort of awareness that someone did something to you that was wrong. Right now, the bill would allow a 2-year window for survivors of any age to file suit. That's important. The 2-year window, it may take someone 2 years to finally realize what was wrong and how to approach it. It's not an easy thing. First, you've got to realize what happened to you, and then you have to be willing to talk about it. That can take decades. Okay. It would allow survivors to come forward up until the age of 52. The average age of survivors come forward. I really didn't make much noise about it till I was 60, as I said, 64. And this is a big thing. The bill would allow survivors to file suit against schools that who knew or should have known that the abuse was taking place. Elementary school, high school, college. There's people that know stuff and they try to cover it up. Michigan knew about me in 1975. Michigan knew about lots of others, all from 1975 all the way to 2002, and did nothing. These institutions need to be held accountable. I'm going to ask all of you as human beings and parents and brothers and sisters and sons and daughters to pass this bill. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. These people need to become survivors. They can't be victims anymore. They need to have someone acknowledge what happened to them. It's time for Michigan to move forward and stand with the survivors. Thank you.
Tad, thank you so much. And for everybody that's on tonight, Tad DeLuca was just living his life tonight. And when he found out that the Michigan legislature was going to be here late and had the opportunity to move these bills because they're sitting on the House floor right now and they could be moved over to the Senate with bipartisan action, he volunteered to jump on here with almost no prep time and speak out. And you can tell he's speaking from the heart. So with that, we know it's a busy night. We can take questions for just a second here before everybody splits. If anybody has a question, please go ahead. Anna? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah. Hi, Taryn. Sorry, we're all in the Capitol for this. I was wondering, I forget, is this the second session you have been on board with the institutional element of this package?
Wait. Oh, yeah. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Can you ask a question for me? Yes, what's up? Thank you. Just, I
and I was wondering, would it? Yeah, Chad. Anna's asking. She said this is the second time you've been on this package before. What was it? Right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I testified at the end of June this year on this one.
Right, but you've been on it in the past, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Just like, what does
Just
this
what-
moment mean?
What does this moment mean for you now that it's likely to actually get there?
When we were camped out on South University in front of the president of University of Michigan's house there, hundreds of people came to us and told us our stories, or their stories of, some of them, they were 5 years old. There was the one that really sticks out in my mind was a man who his wife stopped the car. He got out and started talking, and we knew what he was there for, but he couldn't finish. He was so upset, and he was in his 80s. And we talked to him, we had some pizza there. We gave him some pizza, and he just felt so much better getting this out. So we're looking to heal people here. There's 25% of America has been sexually assaulted somehow. There are people who need redemption and need to get on with their lives, and they need to heal. This bill would help people do that.